Hi, I'm David Fitch. I'm trying to become the heaviest marathon runner in the world. So I'm going to make an update for the week that just ended yesterday, which was May 10th, I believe. So everything for the week pretty much went as planned. Did a lot of lifting. My shoulder was a little bit hurt, just a rotator cuff, so I could still bench heavy. I had no issue with most lifts, only certain lifts. So today it felt pretty good. So I'm almost fully recovered there. I've been lifting heavy. My bench was at 345 for 3 reps, so I'm closing in on 400 pretty soon. My diet plan went as planned, eating about 5,000 calories. My weight has been sitting at about 220 pounds. Maybe in the morning I could weigh a little bit less, like 218. I've been as heavy as 226, so there's a lot of fluctuation from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. But I'm sitting at around 220 pounds. So, of course, the goal now is to stay where I am because I don't want to worry about weight fluctuations down the road. It's just about getting comfortable at this weight so I can run a sub 3-hour marathon first, but hopefully, eventually, a sub 2.5-hour marathon. The most important thing that happened this week, which was very important to me, is I was doing about 2 hours of cardio every day. I think there was one day when I maybe did like 2 hours and 15 minutes or 2 hours and 20 minutes, but for the most part it would be, it's not 2 hours, I don't know what I said, but there were a couple times it was maybe like an hour and 15 minutes. So maybe like one day, less than 2 hours. Most of them were pretty close to 2 hours, maybe an hour 45 minutes, but I'm not worried about that. That's close enough as my body adapts. You know, my legs aren't fully adapted yet, so like it's perfectly fine if I think it's better for my health. Now that time usually consists of about an hour and a half of running and then half an hour of biking. I'm not doing 2 hours of running just yet. I still want my legs to get stronger, and I do think that biking gives a lot of aerobic benefits, like improving your VO2 max and just running abilities, and also strengthening the leg muscles. I think biking is great for that, without actually pounding down on my shins and ankles and hip and sending so much force through my body. So I'm doing that for now. Eventually I'll try to run 2 hours a day, but for now it's about an hour and a half of running and then half an hour of biking. And I pretty much stuck very consistently to that. So that's definitely a good update. My body's handling the 2 hours of cardio well. I've also been doing a pretty good job of cutting energy drinks out of my diet, because I've had a bit of a C4 addiction, and okay, I might be drinking one now, but for the most part, I'm drinking less than I did before. I do feel like when I do a lot of cardio and a lot of running, I seem to sweat most of the caffeine out, but your body changes in a lot of ways when you drink too many, so there are just several ways that my body became less efficient for running, so I'm trying to clear the caffeine from my system. You know, like right now, I would overdo it by a lot sometimes, so I don't care if I drink like a pre-workout before the gym and maybe a C4 later on, but no more than that. Sometimes I'll do an extra one just to keep symptoms in check. I definitely drink way too much, but for the most part, I don't want to exceed 2 doses of caffeine throughout the day. Like I said, one's just going to be a pre-workout before the gym. The other one can be a C4 or whatever I want to drink. That way I can cut down. Maybe eventually I'll cut down even more, but I'm not too worried about it. I'm heavy, I've run a lot. 2 I think is okay. I did also start squatting because I would like to compete in powerlifting meets to prove my strength. Right, everything needs to be in verified competitions. I want to run in world marathons, and I want to compete in powerlifting competitions as well. So I did start squatting, and right now I'm just using the Smith machine because I did hack squats before. So I do have strong legs, I think especially because of the running. I noticed that my legs always got way stronger than my upper body. So I've been using the Smith machine maybe like my second or third time trying to do it. So it's not great, but I did maybe 365 pounds for I don't know how many reps. But I was like going pretty low down, below parallel, but I don't feel like I'm using my muscles much because I'm not fully pushing into it. When you bench a lot and you're really comfortable, you're just pressing into the bar. So like even though I can do the movements and the motions of 365 in the Smith machine, or not machine, but rack, but Um, like I can stand up just fine, but I don't feel like I'm just pressing really hard into the floor the way I am when I'm hack squatting. So I think there's a lot of room to get stronger there. And obviously, it needs to be way better for my weight. But I think it'll be a lot higher soon enough. And then when I'm comfortable and I feel like I'm pressing into the floor fully, then I'm going to switch over to regular barbell squats and just do that in a simple squat rack. That way I don't have the guided rails for the bar motion. And as far as the running goes, I'm finally getting to a point like I was before when I can just run for hours without getting tired. After I gained the weight and I was having pain in my shins, I didn't have any quality runs. And this is for like many months. So I don't like to admit that, but it's true. I haven't had any good quality runs in a while because I don't need to get heavier. My bones just adapted to 220 pounds for the most part. Not fully yet, but they're doing all right. So I finally had some quality runs, and I'm finally getting my heart rate a little bit lower than what it was before. And also my body isn't fighting me on distance. And I still don't run out of energy like before. Like before I could just run for hours and I'd never get tired. So I'm starting to feel that again. So that's a good thing. Like for the most part I might run like 8 or 9 miles most days. Maybe a bit less, maybe 8 miles. But like some of it is interval training, so it's not just all steady pace, which is a lot slower than before, but my body's just getting back into it. And then I'll bike for half an hour. So it's not a very fast pace, but I'm finally getting my body back to the way it was before, when it could just keep running forever. And the pace that I used to go before still feels comfortable. I'm just getting back into the comfortable with the movements. So it still doesn't. It's still not difficult to run like a 6-minute mile pace or even faster. It's just that I haven't been doing the quality distance runs to do it comfortably. So that's why my running is in much worse shape than before. But the most important thing is that the bones in my legs and my hips and all that and my ankles and like the tendons are all finally feeling a lot better. So I can just do straight running, hopefully, and just get better at a much faster pace. I will also say that since my weight did touch up to 226 pounds, it's getting pretty close to 230. I need to make sure that I don't, especially since my bones just adapted, I don't really go over 230. So if I do hit 230, I'm just going to start cutting calories, like take a meal out of my meal plan. That way I can stay in the range of 220 to 230. And when I wake up in the morning, I might actually be less than 220. So it's not super critical. I'm just keeping an eye on it, making sure that I don't exceed 230. But at the same time, I need to make sure I don't lose weight now that I'm doing more cardio. So I'm just trying to stay in this range. So I will be tweaking the calories as I go. I do not see a need to tweak any calories in this moment. Right now, it's going to stay the same because even though I've been gaining weight very aggressively, I'm not going back to 2 hours of cardio. So I don't think I need to tweak anything right now, but it's possible that I'm going to get to 230 within, say, a couple weeks. Only possible, not definite. I'm adding a lot of cardio, so I might actually lose weight. Maybe I need to add calories, but so I don't need to tweak anything in this moment, but it's very possible that in the near future, eating 5,000 calories a day, that I will need to either cut or gain or add calories. But I'm just going to do small tweaks and keep a steady meal plan. So only change by maybe 500 calories max at a time, just to maintain a range. I will also be adding half-hour runs outside, maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for now, so I can get used to the roads. I do remember last year when I started running on the roads, my shins couldn't handle it, just because of the hills, trying to run downhill or uphill, and also to get used to the temperature and everything like that. So I'll be doing that, running at least 3 days a week, half an hour outside. Eventually, Sunday is going to become a mountain run, but not yet. That way I can adapt to the roads. So that's something I'm planning on doing. I'm probably going to go for a run outside in like an hour or so. It's like 6:30 now, so pretty soon I'll go for a run outside to stay consistent with my plan and not fail. And I think that's all that's really important for now. Everything's going pretty good. The running's getting better. Diet plan's the same. The I'm a little bit stronger than before. But other than that, there aren't any significant changes. Just gotta do some more running outside and get ready for outdoor runs and races, so everything can be verified in race meets or competitions, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just gonna end the video here. Just a simple recap. There's not really much to note here, and thanks to anyone who watches or follows the journey. If you have any suggestions or comments, just leave it in the comments below, and I'll get to that. Anything I can do to learn how to do this a little bit better is going to be helpful for me and increase the chances of me running a sub 2.5 hour marathon at over 220 pounds now, which is the ultimate goal at the end of the day, even if it takes a couple of years to complete.